Today on In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna, we're gonna make a nice summer meal. Today we're using our Instant Pot, and that's the twist for today. The Instant Pot is so great, and we're gonna make these wonderful dishes, all three of them in the Instant Pot. I'm fortunate enough to have 2 pots, but if you only have 1, that's okay. You could make it in stages. So we're gonna make some baby back ribs with a Knott's Berry Farm Boysenberry barbecue sauce. We're gonna make corn on the cob, and we're gonna make green chili mac and cheese, so stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna. Today we are gonna make some ribs, and my twist is that I'm gonna cook them in the Instant Pot. And you guys are probably thinking, oh, I don't know, that's not gonna be very good, but I promise you, they are so delicious. And normally we cook our ribs in the smoker, but this obviously cuts down the time. I can have dinner on the table in less than an hour, so we can eat ribs a little more often. And it's very quick and very easy, so let's get started. These are just some of the ingredients we're gonna use in the Instant Pot. But first, we need to put some rub on these. So these ribs have already been taken out of the package. Obviously, you can see they're open and they've been rinsed. And now I'm just gonna use a little bit of rub. This is an Apple BBQ rub that we picked up at some barbecue store, who knows. And so we're gonna liberally coat these, and then we're just gonna kind of rub it in a little bit. So let me get a little bit clumpy inside the jar. All right. Okay, so we're just gonna rub it in so that we're getting all the surfaces of the meat. Make sure you get the sides. Sprinkling on more as you need it. And alrighty, that one's done. Then we're gonna flip them over and put a little bit of this seasoning on the back side as well. And all right, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna flip them over. And as you can see, these are baby back ribs, and I have 2 racks here, which is enough for my family and enough for a little leftover for lunch. And these already have the membrane removed. I buy my ribs from Costco, and so because they already have it removed, it makes it so much easier to prepare them. If it's not already removed, you just take a thin, like a butter knife, and put it in between one of the ribs, and you'll get the little papery skin, and you just peel it back. Doesn't take long at all. It's not hard to do. It's just a little more convenient if it's not there. Okay, these are all set. Let me wash my hands so we can put some things in the Instant Pot. Okay, hands clean. Let's move on over to the Instant Pot. I'm actually going to take the insert out and put it over here on the countertop so you can see a little better. I have some apple juice. I'm going to put about a cup of apple juice down inside. This is not exact science, guys. Don't need to measure. Just had a little bit left in the bottle. That's plenty. Now we're going to put some liquid smoke in. Oops, sorry for that. We're going to put in some liquid smoke, just a couple of shakes. You don't want it to be overpowering, but you do want to get that smokiness like you would get on a smoker or on a grill. And that's what it looks like down inside. Just a little bit of liquid in there. You don't need much when you're cooking in the Instant Pot. You can use just the flat rack that it comes with, but I like to use the steamer basket. It holds them up out of the liquid all the way. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift these up, and we're gonna spiral them around the pot. So I just kind of fold them like this, and in they go. And then we'll take this other one, and it's a little bit smaller, so we'll use it on the inside. Get it positioned right here. And we'll stuff it down inside there. It's okay if they're touching the sides. It's okay if they're touching each other. It's not a problem. Let me wash one more time, because this is a little bit messy with that rub on there. Okay, and here we go. Next step, putting it in the Instant Pot. So here we go. Drop it down inside. I'll just turn this around so I can see. Putting the lid on. Making sure it's on seal. I'm gonna do manual pressure for 25 minutes. So let me just get my timer down. And that's it, we just let them go. They're gonna take about 15 or 20 minutes to come up to pressure. It doesn't take too long at all. And then once they reach pressure, that timer will start counting down. That's just telling us it's on and ready to go. So once that timer starts counting down, it'll count down the 25 minutes. When the 25 minutes is up, we'll let them sit in there for about 15 minutes on natural pressure release. Anytime you do meat in the Instant Pot, you want to let it naturally release for 10 or 15 minutes to let those juices get incorporated back into the meat so that you don't end up with dry, stringy meat. So we'll let it rest for about 15 minutes, then we'll release the rest of the pressure. Then we'll come back here, we'll put them back on a sheet tray like this. We'll put some barbecue sauce on them and put them under the broiler for a couple minutes, and they're gonna be perfect. In the meantime, I'm gonna get some sides going. We're gonna make some corn on the cob, and we're gonna make some macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna get out my other Instant Pot so I can get those going as well. Now we're gonna get started on making the mac and cheese. I'm also doing it in an Instant Pot. This is the fastest, best mac and cheese you will ever have. It's so good. And depending how we feel once we get it out, we may put a little twist in it, maybe put some green chili. If that sounds good to everybody, put some comments down below. And so here we go. So we have our 1 pound of pasta. Open that up. This is the brand I use. You use whatever. I'm using shells today. You can use any kind of pasta you like. Sorry for the noise. So we'll put that in there. And then, again, I'm gonna take this out so you guys can see down inside here. And then I just kind of smooth them out with my hand, kind of flatten them down so they're all in a layer. And then we're gonna add water. The water you add is just to cover them, not much more than that. You wanna make sure that all of your pasta is in water. I'm gonna put a little bit more. That's it. You don't want them swimming, you just want them just covered. Of course, I made a mess on the counter. And then you're gonna take this and you're gonna put it down inside here. That's really it, guys. We're gonna put the lid on this one after we see how it goes. All right, and now this one, let's turn it around here. We're gonna do manual, except, oh yes, this one we have to hit pressure cook first. Sorry about that. Then we're gonna do it for 3 minutes and start. Yes, pasta completely done in 3 minutes. I know you don't believe me, but I promise. Again, takes about 15-20 minutes to come up to pressure. You guys are probably saying, oh, well, why is she doing that? It'll take 20 minutes to boil on the stove. Well, because I can walk away from this. I can just leave it here. When it beeps, I know it's done. I come and I open it and I take care of the next step. I don't have to sit and babysit it on the stove. Sometimes they boil over, make a mess, so this is more convenient for me. So we'll let these go. Those ribs are starting to steam up. It's starting to reach pressure. Then once this pasta is done in 3 minutes, then we'll come back. We'll show you how we assembled the mac and cheese. We'll wash the pot up and we'll get our corn going in the same pot. Okay, we're all set. So it's been 3 minutes. I released the steam. So when you're doing pasta, you want to do a quick release as soon as that timer goes off. So we've done that. I'm gonna release the lid. And you're gonna see inside of here, let me just place this down. And you'll see inside of here that the pasta is done and there's no liquid in it. Let me bring this over here so you guys can see a little bit better. There's no liquid remaining in here. So this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love to cook pasta in the Instant Pot, because you don't have to drain it. Once it's cooked, it absorbs the moisture, and it's really good if you wanted to impart some flavor into your pasta. You could add some butter, some garlic, you could add chicken stock, whatever you wanted to add to it, and it would impart that flavor into the pasta, which is really nice. I used water just because obviously I'm making mac and cheese and put my own flavoring in it, but that's one of the other reasons that I love to do it. So now we're gonna take the pasta and we're gonna put it in this bowl. It's nice and hot. All right. Set that aside so we can use that for our corn. This is really hot. Now we're gonna put our favorite cheeses in. You guys, you can use any cheese you want. I'm using a little bit of pepper jack. I have about a half a package that was left over. I'm using that. This was an 8-ounce bag, so probably about 4 ounces. We're gonna use about the same amount. This is a full bag, but about the same amount of medium cheddar, so about half the bag. We're gonna use a little bit of Velveeta because everybody loves that creamy Velveeta flavor. And it melts up so nice. If I can get it open, we are. All right, let's unwrap this. And we'll cut some of this up and put it in there, if I can get it open. Sorry for the noise, guys. I didn't realize it was gonna be that hard to open up. That press and seal really presses and seals. All right, so I'm just gonna cut it up and break it into pieces. And then the heat from that pasta is gonna melt all this cheese. Let's do one more little slab of the Velveeta. That's a lot of cheese, but we like it cheesy. All right, and we're gonna get some milk. Not too much, just a little bit, so it stays creamy. Maybe a quarter cup or so. Now, if I wasn't already using pepper jack or putting some chilies into this, I would put some hot sauce. Some people like to use dry mustard. That's okay too. But I'm not gonna do that since I'm using the pepper jack cheese. So now we're gonna stir, stir, stir. And you're just gonna keep stirring until this cheese is melted. And you guys can, you know, this is a completely preference. You can serve it just like this. Once you have it all mixed up, you let it stand for a little bit. As it starts to cool down, it'll thicken up. You could add some cornstarch to it if you want to thicken it more. You could put it in the oven. If you put it in an oven-safe dish and then put it in the oven and bake it, it'll tighten up as well. But we just let it sit on the counter. It'll tighten up just fine. So we have to wait for those ribs to be done anyways. And it'll stay plenty hot. Well, this is a metal dish, and we'll put some foil over it and it'll stay plenty hot. So now here's my twist. I'm gonna put some green chili in here. This is some of that green chili salsa that I had made a few days ago on here and showed you guys how simple it was. So we have a little bit, still had a jar left, so why not? Hubby loves green chili and everything, so why not? So we'll stir that in, and you can see it's already tightening up. All of that cheese is not 100% melted yet, but it will be. All right, so we're gonna put a foil covering over this and let it just sit and absorb all of that cheesy goodness. And then we'll get started on our corn in just a minute. Okay, we're all set to get our corn started. So we've washed our pot out, and now I've put about 1.5 cups of water in it. I have a steamer basket here that I've shucked my corn and put my corn into. Put the steamer basket down inside. Put that inside the Instant Pot. A good tip for you guys to always remember, don't ever put any type of liquid inside of the main pot. Make sure you always have this liner pot in. It'll ruin your Instant Pot, and that's a bad day. Alrighty, now we're gonna put the top on and we're gonna seal it up. Get our pin to drop and we can seal it. We're gonna pressure cook this for 2 minutes. So we're gonna pressure cook 2 minutes and start. So again, remember 10 to 15 minutes before it comes up to pressure. Then it will cook for 2 minutes. Then we're just gonna let that naturally release. The corn will be just fine in there. It'll stay hot until we're ready to get these ribs out. The ribs have come to pressure, have cooked about 10 minutes so far. They have 15 minutes to go. And then remember, we're gonna natural release those for another 10 minutes after. And then, so that's a total of 25 minutes from now. We'll be ready to take those out and put them under the broiler with some barbecue sauce. So we'll come back and get that done in just a couple minutes. Okay, here we are. We just released the steam from the ribs. I know that was fast, right? And they are ready. Look at that. Oh, wow. You guys can already see that they're pulling away from the bone. Let me just drop this lid down. Now we have the task of seeing how successful we can be at taking them out and getting them on the tray. Hopefully they don't fall apart when we do it. We're about to find out. So here we go. I just have 2 pair of tongs. I'm gonna lift them out gently and place them on my tray. It's just a cookie sheet that's lined with foil because when you put the barbecue sauce under the broiler, the part that spills onto the foil, it can burn, and you don't want that burning onto your cookie sheet because it'll be real hard to clean off. All right, let me unravel this one. All right, look at that, guys. Don't they look great? These just look so beautiful already. Whew, that's a lot of steam. Okay, So the way you can tell they're done is when you look at these bones over here and see how the meat has pulled back from the bone. That means they're gonna be really super tender. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take some barbecue sauce. Today we're gonna use this Knott's Berry Farm Boysenberry barbecue sauce. A few weeks ago, my husband and I and a friend went down to Knott's Berry Farm, California. They were having a taste of calico and they had, everything was boysenberry flavor. And they had these wings that had this boysenberry barbecue sauce. Oh my goodness, they were to die for. So we bought some and brought it home. So now we're gonna put that on our ribs, which I'm sure is gonna be amazing. So I'm just putting some in a little dish here and I'm gonna use a brush to put it on. And then we'll get these under the broiler. I just wanna get a nice coating on it. Doesn't have to be super thick. And what's gonna happen in the broiler is it's gonna caramelize the sugars in this barbecue sauce and it's gonna make it sticky, which I love sticky ribs. That's my favorite. All right, so let's continue to get this on here. And then... All right, once we get these all sauced up, we're gonna get them under the broiler. And that'll help crystallize the sugar on the barbecue sauce and just make these sticky, gooey, yummy. And then while they're under the broiler, we will get our corn out and get that dressed just with some butter and salt and pepper, and then we'll start plating. And we are almost ready. Just a little more sauce in here. And when you serve these, you can serve them with the additional sauce on the side if you want to. It's whatever your family's preference is, whatever you like. My family likes it kind of broiled on like this. Like I said, it gets sticky. And then remember, when you're making these ribs in the Instant Pot, you guys just experiment and put whatever kind of liquid you want down inside that pot. I used apple juice today, but I've used cranberry juice before, just water, chicken broth. It's whatever you have on hand and whatever your family likes, experiment with it and use that, because it's all about your personal preference and what you like to eat and the flavors that you like. Whatever liquid you put in there is going to impart into the meat, and you're going to have some of that flavor in the meat itself. So whatever you like, go for it. Don't ever be afraid in the kitchen. It's all about experimenting and creating your own recipes. Okay, these are sauced generously. Now I'm gonna go back and put them under the broiler. And then, like I said, we're gonna release the steam from that corn. We're gonna get the corn dressed with some butter and salt and pepper, and then we're gonna get it all plated up. All right, we pulled the corn out. Now we're just gonna put some butter and salt and pepper on it. I'm dressing it here on a paper plate before I transfer it to my serving dish. And you'll obviously go through and do each one of your pieces of corn like this. And a little bit of salt. I use kosher salt. That's what we like. You use whatever you like. Some people like to use that Himalayan pink salt. That's okay too. It's actually really good. And put a little bit of pepper, and then we'll just spin it around a couple of times and get that all worked in. And now we're ready to plate. And here we go, the finished plate. So let's take a little bite of this mac and cheese. You guys can see that it tightened up like I talked about and looks very cheesy and delicious. Very good. Cheesy, a little hint of that green chili. That is delicious. And let's try this rib. This is my favorite, all-time favorite. You guys see how easy that meat fell apart from the bone? Still has a good bite to it. Really good. Try that with a nice ACE cider. Absolutely great dinner in the summer. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure that you like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell at In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna. And our Instagram is In the Kitchen, cooking with _ with double D. So make sure you follow us on Instagram as well. Everybody have a great evening. Bye.